Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Lee Kirby Dicko Comics here, and in this video I'll be discussing my thoughts on all three different comic book grading companies. There's the standard CGC, PGX, and CBCS, the new grading company. Obviously, the new grading company CBCS had some of the primary graders from CGC leave to make their own grading company. So that's kind of the history on that. They're a new grading company. PGX has been around for a long time, and CGC is obviously the standard. They've been around for the longest, been around since around 2000. But right away, the differences in the cases. CGC and PGX cases are very, very similar. They both have a blue tint to them, and the PGX case is slightly shorter. As you can see, all three of these books here are graded by each different grading company, CGC, PGX, and CBCS, and they all coincidentally happen to be a 7.5 grade. Which, getting to the grading, I think PGX and CBCS are more accurate with their grading. I feel CGC is just way too strict. That's just my opinion. As far as the biggest difference in all three grading companies' cases, CBCS definitely has the most unique case. They have a very nice clear case, which is more ideal for the display of a comic, not a blue tint. They have a very nice clear case, and they also have these lockets, these locks on each corner, as opposed to the standard kind of snaps on the PGX and CGC. So it makes it much more difficult to crack open, and yeah, so it's kind of that different. Another thing about CBCS is with restored books, they do not change the color of their label. As you can see, this book is restored. You can see right here, they just state the restoration right here, but they do not change the color of the label. You can see it's the same exact color label, and this comic also happens to be a 7.5 grade. Again, falls in that same accurate grading category. But as opposed to that, CGC will actually give it a purple label when it's restored. So we can see here, restored grade, they'll give it a purple label as opposed to the standard blue. And with PGX, you will actually get a green label. As seen right here, you will get a green label as opposed to the blue label. Also, the differences in cases when it has something special about it, either restored or when there's a signature. The only two grading companies to verify a signature is PGX and CBCS. CGC will not verify a signature unless they are there to witness the signature. So if you have a comic that you have personally signed by Stan Lee, but you didn't CGC it and CGC wasn't there, they will just write Stan Lee written on first page and marker, or Stan Lee written on first page, or even the older signatures like Jack Kirby, which Jack Kirby unfortunately died before CGC even was invented in 2000. So they will never verify a Jack Kirby signature, but PGX and CBCS will, so that makes them more ideal. Another note to touch on, CGC, you have to make a membership to be able to send books to them, and they are very, very expensive, and they take a very, very long time to get back. They take a percentage of what the book's worth. If you send anything that's hundreds or thousands and thousands of dollars, they take a percentage of what the book's worth, whereas CGC is the only one that does that. CBCS, I'm not too sure. I know they are more expensive, but they're not as much as CGC. And PGX is the most ideal if you're going for cost efficiency, because they are very, very cheap. Very cheap to get your books graded by PGX, and there's no long wait turnaround. I mean, you can get a book graded by them for about $40-50, and that's one day turnaround. That's just the whole deal, insurance, shipping, everything. I mean, it's very, very quick, very effective, and they do not take a percentage of the value of the book. They just grade every book as it's the same. You could send a Batman #1, or you could send a new Spider-Man comic. I mean, it's very, very cool with PGX. But as far as the different labels, when you have a verified signature by PGX, they change the label to a gold label, and CGC will change it to a signature series. And again, they have to verify that signature by being there, witnessing the signature. So they have a yellow label for signature series, and then PGX has a gold label. And then I don't have a copy of a Cbcs case where it's verified, but I believe they do a red verified signature, and they kind of have a fade in with their labels. But that's pretty much it. I could go into more detail about some other stuff, but those were some of the main points I wanted to touch on. So yeah, that's gonna wrap up this video, guys. Make sure to hit that like button down below if you enjoyed watching. Comment your thoughts down below what you think of the grading companies, and if you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button to see all my future comic book videos. So that's gonna be all, guys. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.